So welcome back to the Hickey Gaming channel. Today it's me, the real Boppus, who will bring you a lot of research stuff. I sat last night for 3 hours just going through everything I know about research and see if I could find some new things and what really works now and what doesn't. So this is the guide for research for 2024, so I hope you enjoy it. The first thing is it's an old classic. Some people knows it. I think a lot of people doesn't, and that's tech juggling. Just juggle your text. So we go here and we research 3 things that we want, and then we leave 1 slot open. We let the game roll on, and I think I will speed this through. So what you do is you save up 30 days of this tech. As you see here, electronical engineering, we have made it to 59 days left. We juggle forward and take whatever tech we want. We want this tech. So we leave electronical engineering. We had 59 days left, and we use these 30 save days to push it down to 30 days. So tech juggling just means that you save up 30 days and you use them for the next tech. So each tech will be 30 days cheaper. So you can wait a second more, so these days will go forward. So we have this slot open again, and then we will switch machine tools to electronical engineering. So here we go. We need to wait. There we go. 30 days saved. We have basic machine tools here, 42 days. And we want to have that much quicker, so why not switch and go for the basic machine tools, and we have 13 days. And this is pretty much it. You juggle your techs and you will get them out sooner, and this is really good working with special production tech, which you really want fast, so you can get everything as fast as possible. So the first thing is tech juggling. Leave at least one slot open. You can do it with 2 slots, but it's not necessary for most of the time. 1 slot is sufficient to really get those 30 days. But that's tech juggling, and that's the first thing. But this is just the beginning of the guide. I just want to take a few moments to say that we release a new guide each and every Monday on this channel. When we will work through all the summer, giving you new guides. We also release 1 guide on our Patreon every 2nd week on Thursdays, so check that out if you have if you really want even more HOI4 content. And we also have a new game coming up for you who love our MP content, PT and the guys in the studio. We'll release that one in the 30th of June, so it's coming up close. And for the first time ever, we have Badger in the studio, and I think he will do an amazing job, and he will absolutely comment on the naval game. So I'm really happy that I'm Soviet, because our navy won't be that much, or will it, opposing team. So please check everything out, and if you want to become a patron, you could always become a free patron. If you become a free patron, we will reach out to you, and you might get something extra just for becoming a free patron. So check the Patreon link in our description, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the guide. Something I noticed while doing the tech juggling and trying out some MIO strategies was that you can't really use this to your advantage when you try to use an MIO. If you have start research without an MIO in the beginning, you will first get a 5 military experience cost, an extra cost of 5 military experience to put on a MIO later on in the research line when you try to juggle over. But that's not all, because you can avoid that if you start researching with MIO, but you will get less funds. So either way, if you start or don't start with an MIO, you will only get the funds from the research time that finishes the tech. So in this case, by doing a tech juggle, we'll lose 80 funds. It's not huge, and I would say the juggling could be worth it. But if you don't need a tech right away and you want the funds for your MIO, just research with funds from the start and don't juggle if it's not really necessary. And you will also spare yourself 5 military experience extra cost. That is quite a lot in the beginning. Later in the war, that's not much. But in the beginning, when you actually have time to take juggle, it will cost you. Another thing I really like is research ahead of time, and I will give this a whole section, but I just want to say for now, when you want to research ahead of time, always save up 30 days, because you will get less maluses if you save up those 30 days than you would otherwise. It's not a huge benefit, but if you can, yes, do it. And this could be really, really good if you played certain mods where you can save up to 70, 100 days of research. This could really, really boost you. But in vanilla, it's just 30 days, but still, you will get it done in fewer days if you save up those 30 days before you research ahead of time. Just before we go forward with research bonuses, I just want to say before it was actually possible to research both concentrated industry and dispersed industry at the same time, being able to go down both of these lines, which was epic. I don't know really when they coded that out, since we play in a fair play community, but I've spent a half an hour at this yesterday, and there's no way to actually make this work anymore. Paradox has really coded it well, so I managed to get so far. So I researched both dispersed and concentrated at the same time, but after that, as soon as one finish, the other one will be cancelled. Even if I finished both at the same day, one was cancelled and one was finished. So they really made a good job with that, and I think that's quite kind of fair. But that's what it is. So don't spend a lot of time on it like I did. So just listen for me for 40 seconds instead of trying it out for half an hour. But with that said, we're gonna go to something that actually works, and that's research bonuses. Research bonuses is one of those many things that I think most people know this is pretty good, but they have no idea how the math works and how good it is and how you want to think about it. So that's what we're going to talk about now. So the math is as followed. I will show it on the screen here. But if we're gonna make this kind of easier, what happens here is that the first 10% is worth really, really much more than the last 10%. So it gets worse and worse each time. So if we have like a tech here, let's go for a tech that costs 100. I think in naval, I think this one. Here, which is really good. You can see the base cost, and you can see the research speed bonuses applied to that research. So the base cost here is 100. If we would have a 10% research bonus here, we will save 9 days and research this in 91 days. As you see here, we have 13%, so it goes down to 89 days. If it would be 20%, it would be 83 days. So for the first 10%, we would save 9 days, and for the next 10% to 20%, we would save 8 days. If we would go down, and I will show you on the screen here so you can follow this more easily. If we go down to 50%, the last 10% only saves you 4 days. And if we go from 50 to 100%, yeah, it will be cheaper. You will save 17 days, but that's just half of what you would have saved for the first 50%. So what we learn here and what you can take with you is that the first 10, 20, 30%, up to 50% at least, it's really good. But don't go out on your way to really make this work and get a lot of research bonuses. I think a lot of people make the mistake to go to engineering here and go for atomic research just to get, yeah, that's 4% extra. It might be exponential in some way. I really want those extra 4%. I made some calculations for this, and absolutely 4% extra, it will give you something. So if you have 5 slots, with this you might save like 10 days for each 100 days that goes. 100 days of research with these 4 extra percent on the levels you usually have in bonuses by that date, 1940. Yeah, for each 100 days you will have 10 days saved on those 5 research slots. This means that to recoup the cost of atomic research, you need to be researching stuff for 10 years. So the math is not that difficult, but it might be. I feel that it's kind of hard to explain. But the punchline is easy. If you want to spend time on atomic research, because it's a really expensive tech, 500 days, even if you have a lot of research bonuses that push that down to might be 350. I think I counted on 350, 365 just to make it easy. So if it costs you 365 after bonuses, it will take you 10 years before it's worth it. So atomic research for the research bonus, yeah, that's really, really bad. Don't bother with it. So the next thing I want to talk about, and this is something that can be really, really good if you use it for the right techs, is research ahead of time. And the base here is that 1 year ahead of time, it costs you twice as much to research. So instead of 1 day, you have to pay 2 days to make 1 day progress of the base cost. For 2 years ahead, it's 4 days. 3 years ahead, it's 6 days. So it gets more expensive. But here you have also to have in mind that this is calculated on a day-by-day basis. So the cost actually goes down. When you have research 1 day, it will cost you slightly less because you're not 2 years ahead. You're just 1 year, 364 days ahead and so forth. So it gets less expensive day by day. And something I've seen being discussed is if the tooltip here is correct with that in mind. And the tooltip is correct. Paradox has gotten this right, so kudos to those guys. They have made a really good games, and also sometimes the tooltip actually does what it says it should do. And here bonuses is quite good. It will shave off a lot of days. Something I wouldn't recommend. You can use it, and as you see, this gives you 50 days cost reduction, but you really need to pay a lot of political power for it. Can be worth it sometimes, might not be worth it other times. And you won't get any more funds for it. You will get regular funds whenever you research it. But yeah, if you really want it quickly, you can always use an MIO that gives you quicker research. And as I said before, you can also save up 30 days to shave off a little bit extra of that cost since it goes day by day. But as you see here, 1940 Destroyer will take us 782 days. It would be, so this will be done somewhere in the middle of 37. Could be even quicker if we had gone for it the first thing we did, and if we actually put an MIO in it and really invested that political power. So with the right tech, it can be really good. And here I just want to show country I love with days ahead the penalty gone. Let's make some cheats, because I don't think the AI has played Canada as I would have liked to play Canada. But Canada have one of the most powerful focuses in the game, to my mind, and that is to have the CMP track. So you can go army modernization and the CMP track. You can do this from the beginning. Let's see that the research is not instantly researched. With that in mind, you can find the Stuart Kangaroo, the Mechanized of Canada, 2 years ahead of time. You can go somewhere in May, 140 days to take the 2 focuses. And if you have juggled here, you will have the Stuart Kangaroo starting research in 140 days. It takes 232 days, and when I did this, I had the Stuart Kangaroo late 36. And that's amazing. To have mechanized so early in the game when no one expects you to have high hardness. So the Stuart Kangaroo is really good. One of the best things you can have ahead of time. Something, yeah, really love playing with. And with that said, I really hope you enjoyed the guide. We really love making these guides for you. Next week, it's Badger's turn again. This Thursday, I will release a Patreon guide. Haven't decided on the subject yet. Yeah, that's it. See you guys next time.